Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my twice weekly videos. I hope you're enjoying them. Many people are telling me they're watching them. Some people from very far away. And some people are telling me that it's a nice way of keeping in touch with our community here in San Diego. And I really appreciate that. It's great to hear from you all as you're traveling or wherever you're living and whatever you're doing. So, this week's Torah portion, we read, Ve'ela told us Yitzchak, these are the generations of Yitzchak ben Abraham, who was the son of Abraham. And then it says, Abraham holid is Yitzchak. Abraham gave birth to Yitzchak. Now, the question the rabbis ask is, it already said, Elah told us Yitzchak ben Abraham. These are the generations of Yitzchak, the son of Abraham. Why does it say then, Abraham holid is Yitzchak? Abraham gave birth to Yitzchak. We already said that Yitzchak was his son. So what is going on? So Rashi says, based on the Midrash, that the people of the generation were saying, you know what? Maybe Yitzchak was not really Abraham's son at all. But maybe when Sarah was by Abimelech, he had relations with her, and Yitzchak is really his son. So God made Yitzchak to look just like Abraham. So as they say, he was a smitten image of his father. He looked just like him, and perhaps he acted just like him. And as a result, no one could say that Yitzchak was anyone else but Abraham's son. And how true it is that our children are so much like us. It's remarkable. They look like us, they talk like us, they walk like us. It's an amazing thing. Why is that? Because our children are always watching us, they're always looking at us, and they observe everything that we do, both the good, bad, and the ugly. They see everything. They see all of our warts and all of our behavior. They see all of our language. They hear our language. They hear the things we say. One time, I remember I heard my daughter Shayna say something, and I said, "How did you hear that?" She said, "I heard you hear that." I said, "You heard me say that?" She said, "I listen," and they do. They listen very much. They watch us. And if we do good things, they hopefully imitate that. And if we do things which are not so nice, they can imitate that as well. Parents must set a good example for their children because their children are going to imitate them. And very often it comes out that girls are just like their mothers. And I know that girls don't like to hear that. No, I don't want to be like my mother. No, my mother was such a fetch, or my mother was such a this, and my mother was such a that. I don't want to turn out like her. But as time goes on, she finds out that she is just like her mother. And so it is by boys. Boys very often turn out like their fathers. I watch sometimes boys and I see their fathers in them as we get older, especially as rabbis get older, and we have had so much experience with the earlier generations, and now we see the later generations, and it's amazing how much we are similar to our earlier generations, how much the boys take after their fathers. If their fathers studied Torah, if their fathers went to shul and enjoyed it, if their fathers kept Shabbos and gave tzedakah, the children enjoyed it as well. It happened one time, many years ago, that the Jewish Federation of New Jersey had a real dilemma. They didn't understand why the young generation wasn't giving so much tzedakah. They weren't giving so many donations. And of course, the federations depend on donations. And they didn't understand it because the earlier generations were very charitable. The parents were very charitable. Why is it that the children were not? The children were very, very cheap. They didn't understand it. So they did what all Jewish organizations do. They made a study. And in the study, they came out with a remarkable thing. It turns out that the parents and the grandparents were very generous. They gave lots of charity, but they didn't do it at home, so that the children never saw them give it. They did it in the office. And when someone would come to them for a donation, they would say, "See me tomorrow in my office." So the children never saw their parents give. And as a result of it, the children never gave, or they gave very little because they didn't see their parents give. I have a friend who puts on tefillin every single day. He doesn't keep much of anything else, but he puts on tefillin every single day. And would you know it, he has a son who does the same thing. Every single day, this young man puts on tefillin. And I asked him, "Why do you put on tefillin every day? You don't keep Shabbos. You're not even careful about kosher, but why do you put on tefillin?" He says, "Because I saw my father do it. So I do it because my father did it." When our children see us acting in a certain way, they will imitate us. I'm sure that many of the gangsters of yesteryear saw their parents as gangsters also, and they figured it's a good job for a nice Jewish boy. They became a gangster. But also, many rabbis' sons became rabbis because they saw their parents and how their parents acted. And if they didn't become rabbis, they turned out to be good Jews. And because they saw their parents and how their parents acted, because their parents were good Jews. So, if we want our children to turn out just right, if we want them to marry Jews, if we want them to really have the Jewish traditions and to value the Jewish traditions, we need to set an example for them and do it ourselves. There's no trick. That's how to do it. I want to wish you all a good week, and may it be a good and a successful week and a happy week for you all. Shalom.